Good evening. Um, Welcome. Oh, I look like I have bunny ears because I was sitting right behind in front of my snake plant. So there we go. Now I'm perfectly framed by all of my plants. Good evening. Happy Monday. We had a cute little conversation in the chat. I just want you to know everyone's favorite part about their Monday. So if you're just hopping on, maybe throw something in the comments really quick or at the end of class. I would just really love to hear the good things that have started your week. Um, Great thing about my Monday, same as Jamie, is the sun came out and I'm teaching yoga. So win-win. um, I'm Seville, for those of you who have not practiced with me, and welcome to your yoga and your choice of beverage class. I have a cute little LaCroix tonight, but I'll probably be moving to beer pretty soon. So before we get started, if you have like a cute little meditation cushion or a little pillow or even just a blanket, we are going to be started in a comfortable seat. And so maybe you want to get something to put under your hips. And the picture that was posted on Yoga and Beer of me with laying down in a brewery, which I never thought I'd miss so much, but laying on a brewery floor with my feet kicked up onto a barrel, that's inspired me for our Shavasana tonight. So if you need to grab your tablet, your phone, whatever, and move closer to either a wall, a couch, a cute little ottoman, because that will be how we're ending our practice. And so I don't want to have to be too disruptive when we get to the end of it. So I'll talk very slowly now to allow you to gather your things for your practice. I'm going to grab my cute little blanket and get cozy here. So when it came to our practice tonight, I was thinking about the things that I wanted to offer intention-wise. And the thing that kept just resonating with me was that just how, we can start using in our practice, we can observe our practice, if you will. If we hop in a chair pose and we really hate it, we can observe those feelings, and then we're a couple breaths later on to the next one. And that's really good practice for our lives. The practice of observing an emotion, an experience as it comes to you, not dwelling on it because it will be passing in a couple breaths or maybe a couple days or whatnot. And so it's kind of it's a very long, it's not a cute, quick couple words intention. But that is my intention for our practice tonight, is just starting to get used to and bring to life, if you will, that idea of observing when it's here, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, and then just releasing. So if we go into chair pose, or if we're standing on one foot, instead of getting anxious or angry about these poses, just breathing through it, maybe modifying if you need, and then moving forward. And then we can bring that into our lives as we start to move forward with our week. So with all of that being said, hopefully that was enough time for you to get all of your comfy things. And now you're in a comfortable seat, sitting on a blanket or a pillow or a cushion. Legs can be crossed or they can be out in front of you, whatever makes sense. If you are near a wall and you want to sit against the wall, that's perfectly fine as well. And we're going to go ahead and get started. If you're playlisting tonight, the link is in the description of the class as well as the chat. And go ahead and press play. And your hands can rest wherever they feel comfortable. They can be resting on the legs. If you feel like you want to take in some energy from around you, you can have the palms facing up. But if you feel like you just need to create a little force field around you, you can keep the hands on the knees palms facing down. Or if you need that moment of feeling the connection of the breath and the body, you can bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly. And the eyes can be open. And if they're open, just allow the gaze to get hazy, maybe just looking at a spot on the floor in front of you. And maybe it feels comfortable to close the eyes. And start to take these first couple rounds of breath. Just check in. See how the body's feeling, noting what the body might need or might not need tonight. Noticing how the breath is moving. Seeing if you can start to round out the breath. Making it a little more intentional, a little smoother than the breath that got you through the day. And checking in with the mind. Seeing if there's maybe a sticking point in the mind that the thoughts keep coming back to or hyper focusing on. And see if you can use your breath to start to smooth that sticking point out. Allowing yourself to truly arrive in this moment. Let's take one deep breath in together, in through the nose. Opening up the mouth, releasing the breath. We'll blink the eyes open and let's inhale, reach the hands up to the sky. And hands come down through the heart. We'll keep this movement moving. We'll reach the hands up to the sky again with the inhale. And we'll exhale the hands through the heart one more time. Really taking your time, allowing yourself to feel the movement of the shoulders. And we're going to flip it and reverse it. Let's reach the hands up to the sky, turn the palms away from each other, press the air down toward the earth. And we'll bring the hands through the heart, reaching back up. And just one more. Bring the hands to the heart. We're just going to start to tip back. Nothing too crazy. If you are like, let's get that core, then you can hang out and boat. But we're just going to switch the legs. Typically, it's going to be the awkward leg in front now. We'll breathe through the weirdness together. And let's reach the arms out in front of us. We're going to link the thumbs. It doesn't matter which thumb's on top. And start to gently pull the thumbs apart. And say hello to your shoulders. Feel free to stay here. If your shoulders are a little cranky, maybe you do want to stay here. But we'll keep the belly pulled in, keep the low ribs knitted toward each other as we start to slowly reach the fingertips up toward the sky. And be truly honest with your body as to how far up you can reach. Maybe this is your stopping point, or maybe it is all the way up. And try not to get the back involved in it. becoming a banana back. Keep the belly pulled in. And we'll reach the fingertips forward. And we'll link the other fingertips. Thumb tips. Yeah. We'll reach the fingers up toward the sky. And we'll reach the hands forward. Let's inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. We'll bring the fingertips behind the hips, so you're staying up on your fingertips. Cute little cupcake hands. And with our inhale, let's send the heart up toward the sky. And our exhale, let's round the spine. It's like that guilty pleasure couch melt. And then inhale, send the heart up toward the sky. Feel the shoulder blades move toward each other. And exhale, couch melt. One more time. Inhale, reaching the heart up. Exhale, couch melting. And let's pull the belly in. Finding that strong, tall spine again. We're going to inhale, reach the hands up to the sky. Exhale, the left hand down. We're going to reach the right hand up and over, actively rooting through that right hip, opening up the side body. And coming back to the center. And other side, actively rooting that left hip down. And hands reach up to the sky. And we're going to come up and over to table pose, hands and knees. Feel free to move your cute little seat out of the way. You're going to actively root through all of the fingertips, the knuckles, the space in between the index finger and the thumb. Actively pressing the earth away. Try not to drop into the shoulders. And you're also rooting through the shins and the tops of the feet. Inhale, let's drop the belly, send the heart forward, finding cow pose. Exhale to round the spine, tuck the chin, coming into cat pose. Inhale, heart shines forward. Exhale, round the spine. And continue to follow your breath here, connecting the breath and the body. If it feels good to hang out in one pose longer than the other, or to move in a little bit of a different way, feel free to do that. And let's start to find that happy middle point between cat and cow, where the belly's pulled in, but the heart is reaching forward. The crown of the head is extending toward the front of the space. Feel free to stay here, or we're going to take the left toes and sneak them back. Again, option to stay here, or you can fly the toes. Keep the belly pulled in. This is where we're going to get a little funky. We're going to rotate the left toes out as we bend the knee, bringing the knee in toward that left elbow. There we go. And then bringing the knee toward the chest and then sending it back out. So making big circles with the hips. It's going to feel awkward and it's not going to feel graceful, and that's okay. One more time. And we'll meet with the leg extending back. Option to keep the toes on the earth, or you can float the toes. But from deep up in the hip, we're going to rotate the leg, turning the toes out toward the left, and then turning the toes back down toward the earth. So you should feel this rotation all the way up the leg, up in the hip socket. One more time, rotating out and then rotating in. And let's bring the left knee to meet the right. And let's roll through cat-cow a couple times. And we'll find that happy middle point between cat and cow. Let's sneak the right toes back, actively pressing out through the heel. Belly pulls in, heart reaches forward as we float those toes. Feel free to stay here. Or let's start to bring the right knee in toward the right elbow to the center and send it back. Following your breath, being okay with it not feeling graceful. And one more time. And we'll meet with the right foot reaching back, rotating from deep up in the hip. Let's turn the right toes out toward the right, and then right toes down toward the earth. So the tricky part about this is you want the rest of the body to be nice and still, isolating this movement solely to the right hip. Then the toes turning in and out are just a byproduct of that rotation. And let's bring the right knee to meet the left. And let's sink the hips back, reach the arms forward, finding our child's pose. Here's your formal invitation to come to this pose as often as you want or need. Feel free to roll the wrists around here. And let's walk the hands over to the right edge of the mat. Imagining that somebody is grabbing that left hip crease and gently guiding the left hip back in space. Coming back to the center and then over to the left side. Same sensation for that right hip crease. Lengthen it back. Coming back to the center. And let's inhale, roll back up to table. From table, let's drop the belly, send the heart forward, coming into cow pose. We're going to tuck the toes and reach the hips up and back, finding our down dog. We're going to hang out in our down dog for a couple of breaths, so feel free to make it a nice wiggly dog. Pedal out the legs, come up high onto the toes, moving around in any way that you need to, so that this can be a tolerable pose. And if you and down dog are not friends tonight, that's totally fine. You can always come to table or to child's pose anytime we are hanging out in down dog for longer than a breath. Staying here for another breath. And with our next inhale, let's roll forward to plank pose, top of a push-up. And let's breathe for a couple breaths. You always have the option to drop the knees if you need. With your next exhale, hips come up and back, finding down dog. From down dog, let's bring the knees down, finding our table pose. Inhale, belly drops, finding cow pose. Exhale, round the spine. As you round the spine, keep the chin tucked. As you start to walk the hands back toward the knees. And we're gonna roll up to standing on the knees. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. Actively rooting through the shins, belly pulls in. Let's cactus out the arms. This one's for Jamie. High five. Using the core to stack the shoulders over the hips. And let's bring the hands down. Does not have to be graceful. And let's find our inhale. And let's find our down dog. So now we're gonna speed that up, one breath per movement. So down dog, inhaling to plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, rolling forward to table. Drop the belly, send the heart forward. Round the spine, tuck the chin. Start to walk the hands back, rolling on up. And next breath, cactus out the arms. So reach the arms up, bring them forward. Don't worry so much about am I inhaling or exhaling on the right moment. Just make sure you're breathing. And let's belly drops and down dog. Rolling forward to plank. Hips up and back, down dog. Rolling forward to table. Round the spine. Let's roll up. Arms reach up. And cactus out the arms. Reach up and forward. One more time flowing through this. I won't cue this one. And we'll come back to table. And from table, does not have to be graceful. We're gonna just bring that left foot forward. Finding our low lunge, we'll sneak the hands onto the thigh, that front thigh. And before we do anything fancy with our hands, let's just energize those legs and feel kind of how when you sink down into the legs, you're really sinking into the joints. It doesn't feel that awesome. So once you juice up the legs, all of a sudden, oh, you have more of a torso. You have a little more stability. Let's reach the arms forward. Let's link the thumbs. We'll put left thumb on top. Say hello to our shoulders again. Belly pulls in. So we reach the hands up to the sky. Just for a breath. Then we'll bring the left hand onto that left thigh and I'm a little teapot up and over that right leg. Maybe the left fingertips reach down toward the earth. Then we'll rotate toward that front leg, finding our revolve twist. And we'll bring the right hand down onto the earth. Left arm reaches up to the sky if that feels okay. We'll tuck the back toe, lift the back leg. Staying here for a breath. And let's bring the left hand down onto the earth. We'll look forward and step forward, finding our forward fold. Inhale, finding your halfway lift, that strong table back. Exhale, let's fold. Inhale, let's rise up and reach up. And hands to the heart. Inhale, let's reach. Exhale, let's fold. Inhale, halfway lift and hold. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, and we'll step back to downward facing dog. And from down dog, let's roll forward to plank, top of a push-up. We'll bring the knees down for this first one. And with our next exhale, let's lower all the way down. Tops of the feet are glued down onto the earth. Use the juice of the legs to propel the heart forward. Finding our little baby cobra. And we'll lower down, pressing back to down dog. And from down dog, we'll roll forward to our table pose. And does not have to be graceful. That right foot's coming forward. Sneak the hands onto that front thigh. Press your way up. And take a moment to find that activity of the legs. And we'll reach the hands forward. Link the thumbs. Right thumb is on top this time. Belly pulls in. And reach the fingertips either forward or up. Finding power and lift from the legs all the way up the core to the fingertips. Right hand comes onto that front thigh. And I'm a little teapot up and over the right leg. And maybe the right fingertips reach down toward the earth. And we'll rotate over that front leg. And let's cartwheel the hands down onto the earth. Oh, just kidding. We are bringing the left hand down. Right hand reaches up to the sky. We'll tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, power through that back leg. Get really broad across your wingspan. And we'll bring the hands down. Let's look forward and step forward, finding our forward fold. Inhaling to a halfway lift. Try not to bump into the door in front of you. Exhale, fold. Inhale, let's rise up and reach up. And hands to the heart. Let's root through the right foot. Hold on. I thought I was mirroring you. I'm not. So we'll root through the right foot, and this time I actually mean it. We'll bring the left knee up. So your option, your choice on if you want to stand on one foot, or you can do all of this with the left toes on the earth. Hands will be at the heart if that works, or at the hips. And we're just going to slowly find some rotation in that left hip. So bringing the knee out, then bringing the knee forward. Nothing too crazy. And just like when we did the rotation of the hip when we were in table, can you try to keep the rest of the body still? And we'll bring the knee forward. And let's send the foot back. We're going to plant that back foot. We're going to find our warrior two, but before we do anything fancy with our arms, we're going to do things fancy with our legs. So I want you to just get into your normal warrior two legs. Just take inventory of how that feels. Now I want you to juice up those legs and really activate through that back leg. Then imagine that you're trying to drag this front leg back a little bit. Hello, hamstrings. And just notice how that feels different. And then maybe you sink back in and then juice everything up. And notice, at least for me, it feels nicer on my joints. And it allows me to feel like I have more torso, more space to breathe instead of just sinking down. So find your nice, strong, sassy legs. Now let's reach those arms out, finding our strong, sassy warrior two arms. And we'll take the front palm, turn it up toward the sky, and let's find our reverse warrior. Check back in with your legs. See if they started getting sleepy. And we'll come back through warrior two. Reach the front arm forward. We're gonna find our side angle. Nice, strong leg still. Press back, warrior two. Let's inhale, reach up, straighten that front leg. Exhale, warrior two. And let's reverse. Pressing back, warrior two. And over to side angle. Inhale, let's reach up, straighten. Exhale, warrior two. One more time, flowing through this. Check back in with your legs. This time we're going to straighten that front leg and come into that reverse warrior shape with the top body. So reverse triangle. We'll bend to that front knee, cartwheel the hands down onto the earth. And let's step back, downward facing dog. Option to stay here, to go to table, child's pose, drinking pose, whatever feels good. Or let's inhale, roll forward to plank or modified plank. Shine the heart forward. Exhale, lower down. Use the legs to fire up this pose as you send the heart forward. We'll lower down, pressing back, downward facing dog. And from down dog does not have to be graceful or cute. Let's make our way forward. You can step, tiptoe, hop, levitate, somersault. I do somersault though, I kind of want a picture, or not a picture, a video. Keep that in mind. Let's forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, let's rise up and reach up. Hands to the heart. Let's root through the left foot. Hands can be at the heart or on your waist, whatever works for you. Right knee's coming up. Again, you have the option to do all of this with the toes on the earth. But let's start to find that rotation of opening the hip and then closing the hip on the right side. And again, try to keep the rest of the body still. So obviously you're not going to be doing great big sweeping gestures with that right knee. Just a small, subtle movement. And let's bring that right knee in. And we're going to send it back, finding our warrior two. I'm going to flip my up around so I can look at you. No, I can't see you, but that's okay. So same thing, hands on hips, hands at heart. Before we do anything fancy with the arms, we're going to do fancy things with the legs. So I want you to find your normal, like I just got into warrior two pose. Okay, mental note. And then let's whoop, juice everything up. Say hello to our legs, say hello to our left hamstrings. Say hello to this back leg. And then let's reach the arms out. Nice, strong, sassy warrior two arms. If you want to get real sassy with it, you can like put the hands up, like talk to the hand. I can't today. And let's take that front palm, turn it up toward the sky, and let's reverse. Press back, warrior two. Check back in with your legs, and let's come on over to side angle. Press back, warrior two. Inhale, let's straighten that front leg, reach the arms up. Exhale, warrior two. Keep everything nice and strong and active. Press back, warrior two. And over to side angle. Press back, warrior two. Let's straighten that front leg, reach the arms up. One more time, flowing through this, really taking your time. Checking in with your legs as we move through this. This time, as we straighten that front leg, we'll come into that reverse shape with the top body. Let's bend into that front knee, cartwheel the hands down toward the earth. Option to move through the vinyasa. We'll all step back to down dog first. Then feel free to hang out here, table, child's pose, or let's roll forward to plank or modified plank. And let's slowly lower down. And we'll shine the heart forward. And let's lower down. And let's sink back to child's pose. Let's inhale, roll up to table pose. Tuck the hips up and back. Oh, tuck the toes, reach the hips up and back. No, I'm trying to figure out how one could tuck their hips up and back. No. And from our down dog, let's make our way forward, finding our forward fold. Inhaling to a halfway lift. Exhale, let's fold. And let's rise up and reach up. And hands to the heart. So we'll root through the left foot. I mean the left foot. Hands can be at the heart or at the waist. We'll root through the left foot. We'll bring the right knee up and we'll rotate that right knee out and find our tree pose. Tree pose. And the knee doesn't have to be super crazy far out. Be true to kind of what your natural rotation in your hips are for this practice. Feel free to stay here. And you can have toes on the earth, or you can bring that leg all the way up. Just avoid the side of the knee. Ooh. Feel free to stay here. Or let's reach the arms forward. Let's link the right thumb on top. Belly pulls in. And we'll reach the arms up toward the sky. Feel free to stay here. Or you can release the clasp of the thumbs. Bring the right hand down. And then I'm a little teapot up and over the right leg. Stay right there. I'm just going to come over here. We'll bring the top body upright. We'll bring the hands to the heart. We'll bring the right knee in toward the chest. And we're going to send that right foot back, finding our crescent pose. Then we're going to revolve twist over that left leg. And then let's bring the hands back to the heart. We're going to power through the back leg into this front leg, bringing the knee back up. And let's rotate over the lifted leg now. So we're going to flow through that a couple times. Feel free to do whatever you need to do with the arms. If the rotation is too much, you can leave it. If standing on one foot is too much, you can leave that. One more time, bringing the knee up. And let's send the foot back, finding our revolve twist. And we'll bring the right hand down onto the earth. Left hand reaches up to the sky. And let's bring the left hand down. And let's step back, downward facing dog. Option to hang out here or option for the vinyasa. Whatever you're doing, make sure you're following your breath. You're honoring what the body needs. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. And let's make our way forward, finding our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's fold. And let's rise up and reach up. And let's bring the hands to the heart, either dropping the gaze or closing the eyes for a breath. Recognizing the breath moving in and out of the body. Recognizing any feelings or emotions you might have about doing this on a second side. Oh, and guess what? We were supposed to do chair pose, but I forgot it. Whoops. But whether those emotions may be good, bad, and different, just allow yourself to breathe through the moment, breathe through the poses and all of the things that come with it. So let's blink the eyes open, hands at heart, hands at the hips, whatever works best for you. We'll bring that left knee up and we'll bring the left knee, the left foot onto the right leg, finding your version of tree pose tonight. Wherever that leg is going to end up, then wherever that knee is pointing. You don't get bonus points if your knee is pointing basically behind you. So, like I said, be true to what your hips are needing tonight. Then let's reach the arms forward and we'll link the left thumb on top this time. Say hello to our shoulders, pull the belly in, juice up the legs as we reach the hands up toward the sky. Feel free to stay here, or you can release that left hand down onto the left leg, and I'm a little teapot right on over, opening up that side body, yaddy, yaddy. And let's bring that body upright. And we'll bring the hands to the heart as we bring the left knee up. And we're going to send that left foot back. And let's rotate, revolve twist toward the right leg. Juice up that back leg, power into that front leg as you bring that left knee up and revolve twist over that. And let's move through that. Breathe. And if it's not graceful, that's okay. You can get rid of the fancy arms. You can get rid of the twist. You can get rid of standing on one foot. And we'll meet back in that revolve twist. And let's bring the left hand down. Right hand reaches up to the sky. And let's bring that right hand down. Last chance for a vinyasa. Let's step back to downward dog. Then option to move through the vinyasa, to find child's pose, to find table. And we'll all meet in child's pose. And maybe you rock a little side to side here in your child's pose. I like to do this with my forehead on the earth because it feels like a little massage for my forehead, for the front of my brain, if you will. But then also as I rock side to side, I feel like I'm releasing a little bit more from my hips and my shoulders. So maybe you find that same release, that same movement. And if you find that the head isn't reaching the earth, you can always bring the hands into fists and then bring them right underneath the forehead. And from our child's pose, let's rise up, finding our table pose. And however it makes sense in the body, we're just bringing the booty down. And we're going to bring the legs to that diamond shape with the soles of the feet together. Knees are coming apart. And this is a great time if you do have a blanket or some pillows. And if your hips or legs are not loving this, you can always bring them right underneath the outside of the legs, offering a little extra support. We're going to just take a couple breaths, just settling into this pose. Maybe you hold on to the space right above the ankles. As you're holding on to that, can you start to lift the heart up toward the sky? So you feel that downward motion of the shoulders. You feel the broadening and opening of the heart. If you love it here, I invite you to stay here. Or we're going to still keep that strong, long back. Start to bend at the elbows, pressing the heart forward. And maybe you start to walk the hands forward. If you're facing the top of the mat, you can always grab on to the edges of the mat and use that kind of as leverage to help keep the heart forward as you lower down. And if you're like me, you just really love that couch melting, rolling forward pose. So if you are like, yep, I'm feeling good, my back, yep, and you just want to start rounding down, get to it. And I always, just like when I'm in child's pose, I like to kind of sway a little side to side, mainly my top body, swaying side to side. So maybe that will feel good for your body, or maybe some stillness. And let's start to walk the hands back toward the body. We're going to sneak the hands behind the hips, staying up on your fingertips, your cupcake hands. And let's press the heart up toward the sky. Your choice on if you want to keep the chin kind of tucked toward the chest, or if you want to gently turn the gaze up toward the sky. Nothing too crazy. You don't want to kink up the neck, but just a gradual gaze up to the sky. And we'll come back to the center. We'll bring the hands on either side of the legs. Use the strength of the arms to bring those knees in toward each other. And we're going to start to lower down. So that's your cue to grab all of your cozy, comfy things. But as we lower down, we'll keep the knees bent. And let's take the right foot up toward the sky. We'll hold on to the back side of that right leg and then start to actively press the leg in toward the hands. And you'll have a gentle pull back of the hands onto the leg. And if that wasn't enough to think about, can you also hone into that right hip crease and see if it's kind of cinched up, and see if you can gently guide that right hip crease down, essentially lengthening the right side of the torso. Then from deep up in the hip, let's rotate the toes toward the right. Feel that rotation in the hip. And then we'll bend the right knee, crossing the left ankle, or the right ankle, sorry, over the left leg. And here, if you want to allow the knee to splay open, definitely do that. And the hands can be really wherever you want them to be. They can be resting on the body, they can be alongside the body, T shape, cactus arm shape. We'll start to sway the legs side to side. And maybe that swaying takes you all the way over to the left edge of the left hip. And you come into a supine twist that's also a figure four shape. So it feels kind of pretzel-y a little bit. And if you feel like that right leg is just kind of slipping, you can always reach down with the left hand and hold on to that right ankle. And instead of allowing that right knee to come toward the chest, can you focus on pushing it toward the front of the mat? If you're feeling really crazy and bendy, you can reach down with the right hand and grab onto the left foot. But maybe your left foot just really wants to be left alone, and that's okay. Left foot, left alone. Sorry, we're gonna be laughing about that one as I fall asleep tonight. We're gonna stay here for another breath, mainly for me to regain composure over me thinking I'm so funny. And we'll release, if you're holding on to that right foot, we'll release that, and however it makes sense in the body, we'll come back to that figure four shape. And let's press the right foot up toward the sky, and we'll bring the right foot to meet the left. Left foot reaches up to the sky, holding onto the backside of the leg with the hands, and then start to find that gentle push and pull of the leg into the hands and the hand into the legs. And then can you start to lengthen the left side of the torso? Then from deep up in the hip, let's rotate the toes out to the left. We'll cross the left ankle over that right knee. Start to sway the legs side to side. And whenever you feel ready, we're going to come to the supine twist. This time coming to the outer edge of the right hip. And maybe you reach down with the right hand and grab onto that left ankle. Then take a moment to actively press that right knee away from the body. Can you start to drop into that deep intentional breath that you established at the beginning of your practice? And typically, as we start to slow down the body, the mind has a tendency to start speeding back up. And if the mind starts wandering or going places, can you treat these different thoughts or plans or to-do lists kind of like the wave of an ocean, that with your inhale, they may come into the mind. With your exhale, they start to retreat. Just observing them and then watching them leave. And if you are holding on to that left ankle, let's release the hold. Come back to that figure 4 shape. We'll press the left foot up toward the sky one more time. And we'll bring the left foot to meet the right. And let's reach the hands up to the sky and then toward the back of the room. Just stretching the top body nice and long. Be side to side. And if you're planning on Shavasana in Yin on your back, feel free to start to make your way there. If you're wanting to put your legs up, and make your way to an ottoman, a couch, a wall, and sneak your legs up the wall, up the ottoman, up the couch. Arms can be alongside the body, can be resting on the body. T-shaped cactus arms, whatever feels good for you. And allow yourself to start to get lost in this breath and in this moment. Enjoying all the good things, maybe even the bad things, maybe even the indifferent things that you've created with your practice. But allowing yourself to revel in this moment, whatever it may bring. Let's start to deepen the breath, inviting movement back into the hands and the feet. If you have legs up the wall, gently and slowly and carefully bring them down. However it makes sense in the body, let's come up, making our way into a comfortable seat. And we'll bring the hands to the heart. Thank you for sharing your practice, energy, and spirit with myself and with the community, yogis from their living room. The light within me honors the light within each and every one of you. Namaste. And cheers. All right, if you didn't catch the front end of the class, I was asking people what the best part of their Mondays was. So I'm coming up to read them, so throw them on there. Let's see here. Sunshine, yoga. Yes, perfect. I love that. Oh, and my sister opened her Etsy shop back up. Yes, I love that. Well, everyone, thank you all so much for joining me. Yes, thank you, Carissa. Have a beautiful evening. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Information for donation is in the, the class description. So feel free to check that out. The recommendation is $5 per yogi, but any type of love, support, good vibes is always so appreciated. And next class, same channel, will be Wednesday, 30-minute, get you off of your booty, out of your desk, and then we'll be back this Saturday. You know the routine. It's good. It's great. We're so excited and so happy that you guys continue to join us. Have a beautiful rest of your week, guys.